Good morning. Welcome to Stock Market Math. My name is Paul. Today we're going to take a look at what you need to know before the market opens on June 10th, 2024. So get yourself a cup of coffee and let's get started by rewinding the clock and seeing how things ended last Friday. Taking a look at the Dow Jones, you can see that we closed down 87 points on Friday, but we were up for the week at plus 91.4. Looking at the S&P 500, we also were pretty flat, down 6 points, but for the week, we ended up having a respectable gain of 53 points. Now, looking at the NASDAQ, which I thought was the interesting part for the week, we were down 40 points, which is pretty flat for the NASDAQ. But if we look at the week, we can see that we were up 277.96. I think what drove a lot of this gains on the NASDAQ was the fact that NVIDIA said that they were going to be starting a new chip development. A lot of people got excited about that, and that rallied the tech-heavy NASDAQ. This week, we have 7 of the S&P 500 companies reporting earnings. Monday, we'll have Oracle. Tuesday, we'll have Autodesk. Wednesday, Broadcom will be reporting, and Lennar Corporation. Thursday, we'll have 3 calls, which include Adobe, Kroger, and Jabbar. Friday, the markets will be open, but there'll be no earning calls. This week in dividend news, one of my favorite companies, Alphabet, will be paying its first dividend. For investors who own either GOOG or GOOGL on or before today, June 10th, they will receive a 20-cent per share dividend to be paid out June 17th. The dividend yield starts out low at 0.46%. However, with a payout ratio of less than 13%, there's plenty of room for this dividend to grow. Alphabet's board of directors also authorized an additional $70 billion in buybacks of their Class A and Class C shares. This buyback will give a yield of 2.92%. If you add that to the dividend yield of 0.46%, we have a total shareholder yield of 3.38%. Microsoft Corporation will be paying a 75-cent per share dividend on Thursday, June 13th. That gives them a dividend yield of 0.72%, which is not very big. However, in my experience, most people who own Microsoft do so for the share price appreciation. When compared to the S&P 500, we can see that in the 1-year, 3-year, 5-year, and 10-year, Microsoft has absolutely destroyed the S&P 500. Realty Income Incorporated will be paying a 26-cent dividend on Friday, June 14th. Now, I want to point out that Realty Income is a monthly dividend payer, not a quarterly dividend payer. That gives them an annual payout of $3.15 for a dividend yield of 5.79%. If we look at the dividend history, we can see that Realty Income has been paying and growing that dividend consistently for the last 26 years. This week in U.S. economic reports and federal speeches, I just want to point out that on Wednesday, we have all of our CPI numbers coming out. And on Thursday, we have all of our PPI numbers coming out. Now, I talked about this once before, and I'll leave the same link I left before explaining what the difference between PPI and CPI is. But basically, these are things that could introduce a little bit of turbulence in the market. So just be aware. Taking a look at the Fear versus Greed Index, you can see that we have a score of 45, which puts us in the neutral zone. If you're wondering if that is a Star Trek reference, yes, that is a Star Trek reference. Last week, we closed out at 48, giving us not a whole lot of change this week. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and remember, keep investing.